Welcome back to the Love Her podcast. We're so happy to have everyone join us again for another episode. I think we've said this so many times, but recording this has not been as easy as we thought.
I feel like we watch and listen to so many different podcasts, and I don't think that I've never heard anybody talk about how difficult starting is.
Yeah.
This new journey that we're on, this new drive that we have to put out a message and to share it with the world, it's like, yeah, that's the easy part. But everything else has been a little bit more difficult than we expected, but we're here.
Yeah, like the sitting down and talking part is easy.
Yeah.
And it's so organic, and it's just kind of like talking to a friend, but it's the equipment and the prep and the editing that is just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think like there's a lot to be said about us diving into a new experience with realizing all these new things that we have to learn and constantly being committed to learning the process.
Yeah, like having the idea is the easy part. It's setting all of the other aspects that come with it in place.
Yes.
And that is something that we actually want to talk about today, because that is something we realize just in general in life, and especially in our 20s where we're kind of doing it on our own. We're out of high school, we're not depending on our parents. Like, there are so many things that come up in your 20s where you have to just kind of like, if I want to do this, what you have to figure out the steps on how to get there.
Yeah.
You know, and this podcast has already taught us so much of that. Not that we haven't already obviously learned that, but this podcast really just kind of put that into perspective of like, we thought that this would be us putting up a camera, getting mics, and talking, yapping away.
It's not been that straightforward, but that's okay. And I feel like the thing about us and how we were raised is we were very much raised to figure it out. Not saying that that's always the best approach, but it did make us into problem solvers. And I feel like for me personally, in the past 2 years, something that I've kind of just done is dive headfirst into things.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like if you're wading in the water a little bit, you know, like when you're in the ocean and you're just like belly's so cold, you got to just dive in straight forward. And that's the best way to learn and figure out really how to swim.
Yeah. And I mean, that's all we've really known how to do.
Yeah.
We definitely have moms that were kind of throwing us out there and telling us to figure it out in so many different ways. But it really has benefited us. And this just goes to show that, you know, we're fortunate to have these problem-solving skills, but here we are, and we're happy to be here, and we are so happy that you guys are here yet again with another podcast.
Yes, we're so happy to be chatting with you guys again. And I am curious, Naya, like, what's something that you feel like recently has been, besides the podcast, a new thing that you've been trying to learn or kind of undertake?
So, honestly, I kind of want to go back to the topic that we talked about in the last podcast, change. I know that I'm getting to the point in my life where a change needs to happen. I'm getting kind of a little too comfortable. I want so many things to occur. It's interesting because when we were talking about the topic that we were going to bring to the podcast today, we originally said we wanted to talk about moving to a new city. But that is that's one thing in the grand scheme of everything that we have done within the last few years, and we'll continue to do.
There's so much that we've done.
So much to do, and I still want us to very much talk about that, because that is something that I will be doing again. And when we decide what we're going to do, whether that's this year or in 3 years or 4 years or whatever the case is, moving to a new city really is something that feels like it gives you a breath of fresh air, which I am very excited about, but I wasn't always, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely something that we both have experienced at different periods in our lives, and I kind of want us to talk about a little bit of what those experiences have been for some of our viewers that might be feeling the same way.
Yeah, I think especially graduating college, I feel like, at least for me personally, after college, everyone was like, get ready, this is when life starts, your life will never be this good again. And I remember graduating college, and I was so dead set on not feeling that way. It's like, nope, post-grad's going to be great for me. I'm going to have fun. I knew that living at home wasn't an option for me, so I decided to get 2 roommates and live in Boston.
Yeah.
It's an expensive city, so I didn't have enough money to live alone, and that was the best option for me, and I just kind of dive face first. I ended up getting a remote job that I had a lot of flexibility with, and that year in Boston was so transformative, and it wasn't a bad post-grad year.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, the thing is, one thing my mom has always said to me, 95% of the things that you stress about do not come to fruition.
Yeah.
So if you just have confidence in yourself and you set up a plan that works for you, it really could be something successful. I think where people fall short is that they do tend to be very negative and listen to all those negative thoughts, those negative things that people are saying to them, and they sit in that and they allow that to come to fruition. Whereas if you don't even allow that in your space and you tell yourself, like, look, I'm not accepting that. I am doing whatever I can and whatever I can make happen for this move and transition to be successful. Similar to what we're doing with this podcast, we have not given up yet. It ends up being such a beautiful thing, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Literally, I know I'm not trying to be cliche. For the record, I said that before the song came out. I have it tattooed on me. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger because you learn so much, you know? And like you said, it was such a moving time for you that moved to a new city. I love that.
Yeah, and I think also it's not just about speaking positively. Obviously, that's a major part of it, and it's so important, but it's also about trusting in yourself enough to put in the actions to get what you want.
Yes.
It is about regular goal setting and taking those small steps in order to ensure that you meet the goal. So let's just say you're graduating college and you really want to get a job so that you can move out on your own. Dedicate an hour, 2 hours every single day to applying to jobs that you see yourself at. Put yourself out there and put the positive energy out there, and then just wait and see what good things come to you.
It's not just you shouldn't just do a vision board. You should, what is it called? An action board?
Action plan?
Action plan, I guess, where you have your visions, but you also write out how you're going to accomplish those visions, which is something that I encourage all of you to do. I actually haven't done it yet this year. I mean, I kind of have for certain things, but not for everything on my vision board, because there is a sense of accountability that you hold when you actually put it into effect, when you put the plan into effect. And I think that I also didn't realize that when I moved here, I told you guys in the last podcast, like my move to Atlanta wasn't something I decided. It was kind of something I was like, well, I have no other choices. I don't really want to live anywhere else. I have these 2 options. I'm just going to go. And I did. And granted, my mom was there to help me and support me and things like that. But yeah, I think that moving to a city in general and making these shifts in your life and in all of our lives is definitely something where we have to be able to make those action plans because nobody's going to do it for you. And that's something that we both realize. Like, at the end of the day, if we want this life for ourselves, we want this be these city girls, whatever the case is, we have to put in the work, we have to get the job, we have to get the money to pay the bills, we have to, whatever the case is.
You have to work for it. Yeah. You just do. It's a simple part of it. And I think something that I've realized, I don't know why, I've always just had this awareness that life moves by so quickly.
Oh my gosh.
It's so quick. And now is the time to act so that you can set yourself up for success for the future. You don't want to look back in 5 and 10 years and realize that you should have done more. You want to look back and say, I'm damn proud of her. I love her for all that she did.
Yes. That's why we love her.
Yes.
And a letter to our younger self will always be that you are so capable. You are so capable. Love me, love Naya, to my younger self, to my future self, like, you are always so capable, which always, that's what our podcast will always go back to, is that letter to the person that was scared to move to that city. The little part of us that might have had the worries or wanted to listen to those other people is, You are so capable of anything you set your mind to.
So capable.
Yeah.
So capable. And I do think that having a big life change like that, whether it be, entering a new job or
Oh gosh.
yeah, in a new career field especially, and moving to a big city, going back to school, whatever it is so good for your own sense of resilience.
Yeah.
And having kind of that personal resume of like, I did that.
Yeah, because although life keeps moving, you have to also make those shifts too. And I think that, just like we said before, with change, there's no stopping it. So you've got to pick yourself up and make those changes work for whatever it is you need and want in this life. Yeah. Okay. Guys, we just had another technical difficulty. It's okay. Anyways, like I was saying, I would like to kind of also talk about the passions that we've kind of gained within the last few years, because that has also been a huge part of our shifts too, and why we want to go to new cities. Like, you've wanted different things for your life and yourself and your relationship. I've also, been exploring new things too when it comes to Life's Travels, which is my company that I have. And just so many really cool things that kind of push us to continue making those shifts. And I think that that's an important part as human beings, is that we find what we're passionate about.
Yeah. I think it's also not staying stagnant, which can be hard in this phase in our lives when there's just so many options of things that we can do and ways that we can elevate our lives.
Yeah.
But I think a way that has been helpful for us is, again, having these little side projects and side hustles.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously super passionate about travel, so you have Life's Travels, and that's been a way for you to kind of intertwine that passion with a new stream of income, to be honest.
And people. My love for people, combining the two.
Yeah, and working with people to help them travel.
Yeah.
And for me, having my book as well that's going to be launching this spring is a way for me to combine my passion with writing, and also just tying in my life story, which is something that is a kind of rare life story, so I'm really excited to share it.
It is really cool. It's going to be really good fun. Yeah,
and I think just don't be afraid to try these new things. We promise you, just take the leap.
Yeah, and this is the time in your lives to make mistakes, to have these moments of falling and having to pick yourself up, because we're young and we don't have anybody depending on us. And I know we have probably a pretty broad audience of people that are listening here, but just for ourselves, what works for us in this time and all these shifts that are happening, we really just kind of remind ourselves that now is the time to do it. It is okay to make mistakes. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself grace, because these are the moments where we can do that and now share anything that maybe we've learned along the journey with other people, and then teach our children, or maybe even our parents, because we are at a completely different space than they were at our age.
Yeah.
And that's something else to be very proud of within yourself, of where you are and how far you've come, and even in comparison to the people that did it before you. Really take in the knowledge of the people that have been here before you too. Use your resources and things like that. And I think that that's been a huge part of also living in other cities and meeting new people, as networking, resources, using those to your advantage to really continue to elevate yourself in those passions.
And I think there's also something to be said about taking advice from people that you want to be like. I am very selective about who I take advice from, really, because I want to model after those that have paved the way.
Yeah.
Like our mentor, obviously, love that woman. And there's so many things about her that I'm like, I want to be that. So when she gives me advice, I really take it to heart. It's valuable. Because she's a model of what I want to be.
And you should only get advice from people that are living the life that you want to live.
Yes, and don't accept advice from people that are coming from a negative place.
Yeah. Don't accept advice, and don't accept the words in general.
No.
Don't even accept that energy altogether, because those are people clearly still struggling with something that they have to work through. And if you are seeking another journey and something that brings you passion and love and light, those are the people that you should kind of weed yourself away from, because they're not doing anything. They're not, if it is not positively impacting your life, and the people are not positively impacting your life, They are not people that you should be offended by, take advice from. Don't even allow their energy to feed you whatsoever.
And here's a hard truth, is that when you step into this journey of taking leaps, taking new adventures, not everyone can come on this journey with you. Maybe we should dive into that a little bit, because it doesn't matter if they're a parent, a friend, a teacher, whoever it is, not everyone's going to be coming along this journey of peace with you.
Yeah, that's been a really hard one.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people in your life that have impacted your life in somewhat of a way, whether that's positive or negative. You might have emotions towards that person, and I'm only speaking for myself when I say that is probably the hardest thing for me as I continue to learn and grow in my 20s, is really deciding who is worth keeping in my circle and who is no longer serving me and my purpose here on earth. Because I love people. I'm a huge people person, and my relationships with people truly mean the world to me. But you gotta leave them at the grave.
You do.
And that's something that our life coach actually always says to us, is the metaphor is that if somebody is still holding on to something that they have lost, or they are stuck in a phase of their life that they're just not ready to move past, you cannot force them to walk away from the grave. You have to leave them there, because if you're ready to move on and thrive and move forward with these events that are just going to happen and are out of your control, you are going to stay in that place with them, and you're not going to live your potential.
And the reality is, you can't fully move on with your life and still have those negative people play a key role in the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, the people that are staying at the grave, that are stuck in the past and don't want to move on, they almost want to sabotage you when they see you moving on.
Subconsciously.
Yeah. It's not even intentional most of the time. It's just that they're used to being in the past, so it's hard for them to see you move forward.
Yeah.
And we have to first understand that these people are going through their own journeys, so give them grace for that. But also recognize that your growth and your healing is the best thing for you, and that has to come before including those other people into your energy.
Yeah. And another thing I want to say that I've learned too is, it is really important that you don't share all of your next steps with all of these people, especially if it's people you barely know, people you barely trust, because like we said, subconsciously they might be preying on the downfall because it's envy or jealousy or sadness, or they're harping on things that you might have going on that they aren't able to see from themselves. Everybody's capable, but they're just not able to see it in that moment, and that can really end up hindering you without you even realizing. So I mean, that kind of goes back to what we always say, is surrounding yourself with those people that push you forward, that allow you to feel a sense of encouragement and peace when you're around them and you're in their space, because those are the people that will continue to clap for you when you have successes, because there's room for all of us.
There is.
And I hate the mindset that some people have. I was listening to the podcast the other day. What's the name of the podcaster?
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins.
I love Mel Robbins.
She was saying that she used to have the mindset of, if I see that somebody else is in the space that I want to be, that means that there isn't space for me. And she was like, I had to shift that mindset, because why isn't there space for me? Why can't I also do it? Just because someone else is also doing it, why, like, the room isn't crowded. It's not like they've shut the door. We are all capable of getting and doing and getting to the point of where we're meant to be and what we want to do for ourselves in our lives. So if you have that mindset of, just because they have it, I can't, you also should shift that mindset. But also don't be surrounded by people that have that mindset either, because we should all be working to elevate each other. Yeah. I've always been that friend that's like, if one of my friends has something they're passionate about or something they're good at, I will send it to them and be like, if I see it, I'm like, oh my God, do this. This is you, whatever. Just because I don't know, I've never really saw anybody, not that I haven't really seen people as competition. I'm just not a competitive person. I'm kind of a middle child, kind of a younger child. Like, my dynamic has never been to compete with people. And so I've never really understood the mindset of, like, if anything, I'm like, if you get it, I'm going to get it too, because now I have a connect. And you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of always been my thing. It's like, we need to get it together because the more the merrier, the more people you're surrounded by.
Join in the pot of gold.
Exactly.
I actually am inherently a healthy person, but I've learned through just like sports, and I used to run cross country, that there are actually ways to healthily hone in on that so that it doesn't spread into the other areas of your life. Because I also feel like I'm happy that my friends are chasing success. Yeah. Their success does not mean I lose out in success.
Exactly.
If anything, having successful friends increases your chance of success.
100% for your kids.
Yes,
I'm like, I want my kids to see success. So if you ain't successful, I don't know if you can be around my
you ain't gonna be an auntie. Listen, the lineup for aunties is strict.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
But yeah, I think that we can all root for each other, and if you are a competitive person, like, hone that crap in.
Yeah.
Can I say shit? But hone it in, really.
Yeah.
For me, even, like, it means sometimes Luke and I, on a weeknight, will play a game, like a card game. We verse each other. Or, like, I don't know, we'll, in a yoga class, maybe we'll see who can hold a plank longer. It's things like that that are actually healthy for you.
Yeah, it's healthy.
But really, again, just to bring it back to that, you should have people in your life that are cheering for you. And you should be able to cheer for those around you.
Yep.
If you are not, and you find yourself in a jealous situation, it doesn't make you a bad person.
It makes you human.
It makes you human. Yeah. And if you are jealous, take that as a sign that that is something that you are passionate about.
Driving you, let it drive you.
Yes. Yeah. Because let's just say I had a friend that wrote a book, and I hadn't started writing my book yet, and I was jealous of that. That is a telltale sign that I might be passionate about writing my own book. Yep. So that's something that I can chase.
Yeah.
If you feel that jealous energy, try to shift that energy into, okay, well, hey, I know that I'm passionate about this, so let me do this now.
Right, exactly. Especially at this point in our lives. If you're also in your mid-20s, in your early 20s, your teens, whatever age that you're at, honestly, like, I've realized that it really doesn't matter what age you're at. You could be having the same experience as somebody that's 20 years younger than you, because I quite literally learned that this year with my mom, that we were going through a lot of the same things because she hadn't started the work herself. So anybody listening to this, I feel like, could relate regardless of the age that you're at. But if you are in this state in your life, I think that this advice is something that we have to remind ourselves of all the time, but also something that you could really take into consideration with everything going on in the world, especially as women. We will be told that we're not capable. We will be told that we can't sit in these rooms. We're not smart enough. We aren't, whatever it is, because of the shift in our country, what is about to happen, we will see a lot of misogyny. And as women, we need to remind ourselves that we are so capable. We have to be surrounded by these people that are going to uplift us. Don't let that misogynistic, whatever you hear on your TV screen, get the best of you, because they are not in control of your life. They're not in control of the space. And they might have a lot of control of the politics, but at the end of the day, we are a force to be reckoned with.
We are indeed, yes. And also, don't be afraid to truly put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It can be scary, I think, when you feel like other people are judging you, or you walk into a space, especially professionally, where maybe you're the only black girl there. And I know we've been in that situation so many times. In those moments, remember that the power is within you. You can accomplish anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if everyone there has more experience, is a different race, is a different gender, whatever it is. Trust in your power.
Trust in your power, and do the work too, because Google exists. So,
and ChatGPT.
So I want to say something too. One thing that my life coach actually says to me, because like we say, she is a therapist, but she really is a life coach. She helps with so many different aspects of our lives. And one of them was getting a job when I was laid off a couple of years ago. Was it a couple of years ago?
I guess it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So when I was getting a job, I was saying to her, like, I'm nervous because I'm not qualified. And she's like, what makes you not qualified? Like, literally, that's what she said to me. She's like, what, like, reading a job description, we're reading it together, and she's like, what about this makes you not qualified? I'm like, well, it was like a software. I've never used that software before. She was like, YouTube. She's like, what do you mean? Like, do you think it's going to take you 5 years to learn how to use this software? To say that you've used this software? And I was like,
no.
You're so right. She's like, go and spend the next 3 days watching hour-long YouTube videos, download a free trial to the freaking software. You've used the software now. So now put it on your resume. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many different ways to maneuver these systems that are put in place to kind of think that we have to be held back. Like, they put all these big words like, you are capable. So many people have gotten many successes, never going to school, never having the experience. You know, the tools are there. And I mean, like, we're preaching as if we tell ourselves this every single day, you know?
Yeah, but we're still figuring so many things out. I think even part of us is sitting here, and we're obviously 24 and 25, and there's some people that maybe think, like, what the hell do they know about life?
Yeah.
But we know we've lived so many experiences.
We are still learning, you know?
And we're still learning, and we're not at the end of our journey. And I always say, like, there's beauty in being a forever student, because the second that you label yourself as completely healed is the second that you stop growing.
Yeah.
So truly, don't ever think that there's something wrong with you for still needing to learn, for still being a student, because I'm telling you that the more you accept growth and the more that you understand that you do have valuable things to learn and to share in ways that you can grow, the more that you start believing yourself and achieving things.
Yeah. And honestly, when you have that mindset and you move in that mindset, it feels lighter.
It does.
It feels easier. It doesn't feel as pressuring to uphold these standards, to be in a world that makes you feel like I have to keep, like, if I'm not doing this, you know, let's just take a second. Let's all just chill. Okay? Because one, I like, spiritually speaking, I do think that what is meant for you will always be. That comes with work. Like, there are things that can hold you back, but at the end of the day, if you find ways for it to work for you, it could really be a beautiful thing.
Yes. And kind of bringing it back to taking leaps in our lives, and I think specific moments, something that has helped me a lot is understanding that when you've been through difficult things in your life, no leap or bound is scarier than some of the things you might have already been through.
Yeah.
So
True.
I always went through every challenge with the mindset of going into the unknown is better than going into the known that is not good for me. Mm-hmm. And for example, living in Boston, I, again, had a great year there. It was really self-reflective and transformative, but it was also lonely, and it's cold there. The winters are hard there, and I was spending a lot of money on rent, and me moving here to Charlotte was scary. I had only visited here once before I moved.
Yeah.
And I was moving in with my boyfriend, even though we'd been together for 3 years at that time already. I had never lived with him before, so there was a lot of changes, but I knew that going into the unknown was better than staying in what I wasn't happy in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think that's beautiful too. I mean, I've never thought of it that way because, like I said in our last episode, I do really struggle with change and going into the unknown. This is a time to make the mistakes. This is a time to kind of fall and pick yourself up, learn and grow and share and become teachers to those that want to learn from you. Yeah.
And honestly, there's not many things that aren't irreversible except a baby.
So true.
I mean, I should take that out. But there's not many things that truly are irreversible.
And even if you feel like you've regretted something that you've done in the past, learn from it. Like, use it to your advantage. Like, okay. So I was watching an episode of The Kardashians one time, and Kim was actually talking to some men that were incarcerated. Mm-hmm. And she was kind of just hearing their stories. And although they lived with regrets with the things that they did, they were like, because of what we've been through, there's so much to be told here. There's so much to learn here. There's so much that we have gained with all the things that we've been through, and we are just like itching to get out there and like apply those things. And I kind of resonated with that. Obviously, I'll never be incarcerated. Lord, speaking that.
Would not survive in jail.
Absolutely not. But it's, you know, I was actually saying the other day that because I've kind of been on this healing journey and I've seen the other side of feeling more alive and feeling more passionate about life, I can't wait to rewrite my story. Where I feel like my decisions that I have made within the last 25 years of my life have been based on my trauma, fight or flight. Like, that's what I've been moving in. And this year feels like the first year where I can just, like, move so differently. Where I feel like I, like, the friends that I meet, the people that I meet, the jobs, like, the things that I do at work, like, all of it feels like I can move in a different light. And I can't wait for this to be a new story of, like, somebody who is not, does not have all these regrets of anger and frustration and sadness and pain. I can now see the other side and make new choices and teach people and learn and grow in a more beautiful, more pleasant, happy, healed space.
Yes, I could not agree more with that sentiment. I think that the first 23 years of my life, it just felt like it was tragedy, tragedy, death, tragedy, death. And I was just trying to keep my head above water. And I honestly feel like I did my dues.
No.
Like,
for real.
Listen, Luke's whole family is like, how the heck did you land a work from home job as your first job? And I'm just like, well, I paid my dues. The hard part of life is over. It's easy from here on out. Yeah. And I genuinely feel like that's true because I'm not operating in a space, just like you said, where everything I'm doing is based off of survival.
Yeah.
It's now based on, okay, how can I enjoy? How can I, like, use the depths of the knowledge that I've acquired through everything I've been through to help others so that they can too be on this journey of joy.
Yeah, and I think that that's the beautiful part of everything that we've been through is now that we have this drive to help others. I feel like it could have gone the opposite way of, like, we're angry at the world.
It so
but
easily could
now
have.
It feels amazing that, like, we're like, what can we do to help other people that have been through very tough childhoods and have been through very tough situations and help them see the other side?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I'm so grateful that at such a young age we were able to choose joy because I think you and I have both witnessed our parents who are in their 50s, your mom just now going through the healing journey at the same point that we have. Yeah. And and again, it's no judgment. Right. It's just how life rolls sometimes.
Yeah, and I can't imagine.
I can't.
Another 30 years of misery. You know?
And we've been so blessed that we also get to embark on this journey before our kids come.
And together.
Yes, and together.
Yeah. And we want you guys to be on the journey with all of us together.
Yeah.
With that said, I think that this might be a good time to kind of talk about the letters.
Yes.
And helping other people. So we did post another question just about moving to another city. That is a big shift that a lot of people do in their 20s. And with this episode being shifts and changes that happen and how we kind of maneuver those and how we stay positive in those, we did ask if anybody had any questions about moving to another city, any concerns or whatever. So, and
you guys delivered. Like, these were some really good questions. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Naya and Janessa. It's been a few months now, and I'm definitely adjusting. But I won't lie, there are days when I really miss home. It's not easy being away from family and the people I know. I wonder if I'm just not giving myself enough time to settle in, or if I'm trying to hold on to something that isn't here anymore. How long does it usually take before this new city starts to feel like home? Or is home something that's more about me finding my own groove rather than the place itself?
They answered it themselves.
They did.
So I can kind of speak on this because when I first moved to Atlanta, it didn't feel like home. It felt like my home was thousands and thousands of miles away. And I literally went back nearly every weekend. Do you know this?
I
went back every weekend for like a year.
Really?
I drove 8 hours to Virginia Beach, and if it wasn't 8 hours to Virginia Beach, I was driving 6 hours to Radford to my best friend's college. I went home nearly every single month, if it wasn't every other weekend.
Oh my gosh.
For like a year and a half. Because
no wonder you had to get a new car. I'm just kidding.
Good old Bella.
You were putting miles on her.
Well, yeah, I definitely was. She was already a little rough once I got the first time I had her. But yeah, I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot. A lot of driving, a lot of back and forth. My mom was also renting me cars. She saw it was so rough. She saw how rough it was for me to be there and be away from my very best friends in a new city, you know, and I wasn't living on a campus really. I was like, Georgia State was a commuter school. I was commuting back and forth. So I didn't really feel like I was in a city where I was meeting people, but I also wasn't putting myself out there. Mm-hmm. So it did get to a point where I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't keep going back and forth. I really did, because I didn't feel like I had a sense of home. I said to myself, I was like, I need to put myself out there. Mm-hmm. I wasn't doing it. I literally, and you know, this person's situation might be a little different, but I lived an hour from the city. So I lived kind of with my mom, and there wasn't much going on in the city that we were living in. So I said to myself, I need to move downtown, and I need to put myself out there. Mm-hmm. And I just so happened to find a group called ATL Friends, which I hold so close to my heart. I found them on TikTok. RIP to TikTok. We are recording this the day of
the shutdown.
The day of the shutdown, the day of the ban. But TikTok holds so near and dear to my heart because I joined this group where I met so many people in Atlanta. And if it weren't for me going and seeking out these groups and different people, like, I wouldn't have found a sense of home in that city. And it really started to feel like home. I remember after I joined the group, I was like, wow, I've been holding myself back. I lived in Atlanta for like 4 years prior to even doing this. I was like, I've been holding myself back because I have not put myself out there. And I think for me, my advice to you would be, you have got to put yourself out there. Like, you have to make home where you are. Just like you said in your own thing. Like, I wasn't doing that. I was going home every single weekend. Anytime like a new event was happening, a holiday or whatever, I was like, I'm just not going to be here. I wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
But when I started, I literally met friends, so many friends. I loved Atlanta. It was like the best city ever. I met Mackenzie, and now we have a home that we call our home. Like, it really takes putting yourself out there, and you have to be the one to do it. You know, the people aren't going to come to you. You got to go out. You got to go to them, you know?
I would say also, if in regards to this listener and the question that she had, kind of redefining what your idea of home but also family means.
Yeah, true.
I think that we have to understand that when we enter our 20s and move out and graduate college, our family dynamics are going to change. Mm-hmm. It would honestly be weird if they stayed the same just because of the fact that you're now an adult. Mm-hmm. Really define what it means for you to have your own space and celebrate in that. And also look forward to what the changes in your dynamics in your family looks like. Mm-hmm. This means that maybe you host Thanksgiving at your house this year. Embrace these new traditions. Embrace new things with your siblings. Yeah. Start to have these new traditions that will make you feel like your home is different, but it's yours.
Yeah, and remember the reason why you're doing it. Remember the reason why you decided to make that shift, or what brought you there, or the positive things that can kind of continue to lead you down that path, whether that be career, financials, you wanted to explore a new city, meet new people, get out of your hometown, you know. Remember those, because there is a reason why you're being led to do that.
Yeah, and trust in your instincts. I always feel like when things work out seamlessly and it just falls into place, like when you move into a city, the job is perfectly lined up, the place is perfect, the location is perfect, that is when you know you're meant to be there.
Yeah.
Trust in your instincts and your ability to get yourself there, and everything else is going to work out.
Everything else will fall into place, baby.
It will. It always does.
Do you want to read another, or do you think?
I think we're probably at a long-ass time.
Yeah. So we actually, although you guys have shared many, 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 many great things, we might share them in other podcasts, but we don't make these too long, okay?
Yeah.
We can yap all freaking day.
We can. And with these technical difficulties, like, we have to give ourselves some grace.
Yeah, it's been. I'm not going to claim what it's been, but it's been.
It's been, but it will no longer.
It will no longer be. Okay, but we are so grateful for you
each
guys.
and every one of you.
Continuing to come back and listen to these podcasts really mean the world to us, because a lot of sweat and tears. No tears.
No tears.
But a lot of effort goes into this.
A lot of effort and energy, and we really hope you guys just listen, comment, follow our Instagram, really just take in what we say, and
we hope it's beneficial, all in all. Like, we really hope it's not us just yapping, that people are really getting something out of these, and we appreciate you guys so much.
We do. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Love you.
Love you. Love Janessa.
Love Niall.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god. I feel like I need to walk outside.